Okay, I think we're good.
Good morning, Unity family, and welcome to our Unity of the Valley annual meeting for 2021. Thank you all for joining us today, and we look forward to hearing your questions or comments or suggestions, which will follow our speakers today. So if you haven't already sent in any questions or comments, please write them in the comments section on your Facebook page. We have somebody monitoring that page and they will pass on your messages to our speakers today. And we look forward to hearing from you. So I'd like to begin today by introducing our ministerial team. They are Reverend Sherry Lady, Reverend Inga Tarantola, and John West. We are so blessed. We have not just one, not just two, but three shining lights guiding us in these wonderful and perilous times. And we are so grateful to each and every one of you. And I'm going to ask Reverend Inga to open our meeting today with a prayer.
So I invite you all to take a deep belly breath. Feel your abdomen expand and contract. And feel yourself unwind and relax. Feel free to close your eyes. Love, says Webster, is a feeling of strong personal attachment, but that hardly says the half of it, for there are so many different kinds of love. The strong love between parents and child, the love we have for our partners or spouses, the love we have for the things we do, our careers, our activities, for our spiritual community, for kindred spirits are easy to love, but loving our neighbor calls for a much deeper commitment. Love is like a golden chain linking each soul to God. This love is a gift from God, poured out freely. As we become aware of it, as we grow, so does the seed when it warms by the sun. As we pour out our love into the world, more and more of it flows through us. And that is how we are present to one another in this beautiful spiritual community and to the world beyond. And so it is. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Our board of trustees will now introduce themselves.
My name is John Garrett, and I'm a retired science teacher. I've been coming to Unity probably 12, 13 years and am beginning the third year of my second 3-year term on the board. It's been a real pleasure to get to know other board members and the community. One of my duties as board member has been to come up with the greeter schedule for our Sunday services. This has certainly become more complicated with the advent of the pandemic. And we had with our openings and closings, we had a couple of glitches our last reopening because not everybody had received notice of the vaccination card requirement, but it ended up going quite smoothly. And I want to thank everyone who attended services, both for their patience as we dealt with that and with their civility. Our goal, as always, has been to keep our community as safe as possible. And again, great thank you to all. Next is Vicki.
Hi. Sorry. I'm Vicki Hills, and I'm starting my 5th year as a member of our Board of Trustees. I'm currently serving as treasurer. I thoroughly enjoy working with all of my fellow board members and our Unity community. Next is Ted.
Oh, hi, everybody. I'm Ted Taylor. This is beginning my 3rd year on the board. I'm the secretary to the boards, which means I need to pay attention to all of this stuff. And before I joined the board, I went to 3 or 4 meetings just to see what I was getting into, and I discovered a very responsible, positive group of people who they hung up their egos at the door when they came in. And it made for really a wonderful process. And I would encourage anyone who's interested in being on the board or serving in any volunteer capacity, just keep remembering that the more you put into an organization, the more you get out of it. And I think next we have Mike.
Hi. Yeah, I guess I've been on the board for well over 3 years now. And I think one of the most interesting thing about us is that we almost always seem to be total agreement over how things should be. So I guess there must be a divine undercurrent running through all of that. You know, I mean, I don't know if we can teach this to the government of our country, but it would certainly make life easier if they did. And yeah, it's just been a wonderful experience, and I'm glad to be part of it all. And now we're going to speak with Alice Birch.
Good morning, everybody, or I guess it's afternoon now. I've been on the board. I just finished my 3rd year. And I have to admit, it was a little rocky for me because Steve and I both had foot surgeries, and it's 20 minutes to church and 20 minutes back. So even a board meeting of 10 minutes was way too long. And I just could not. Steve, he kept falling and tumbling and hurting himself. And I was kind of in a bind, but I managed to get through that. And part of that helping was COVID, because I could stay home and join the board meetings and watch out for him, although he managed to get better without me. And so it was quite nice being able to join the board from home. One of the things from his complicated foot surgery was we had to postpone one of our major trips. And we were taking 6 to 8 week trips every year, trying to visit 5 to 6 countries at a time. And so we had to cancel it, and then COVID hit, and then we had to cancel it. So when my 3 years was up, I had to face the decision about run while we can or continue to serve on the board. I made the decision to get in our long-awaited 3 very long trips abroad, and hope to resume the board at another time. During the past 3 years, it's not been an easy time. Sometimes in my brain, I equate it as going to boot camp together. We've had to hammer out a lot of issues with COVID, and always between Sarah and John and the ministry, it always came down to what's best for the congregation. And even though we may have had varying views about not limiting service, it came to good conclusion every meeting. So I'm grateful for that. And I'm very grateful for all the people I got to know on the board. It's been a wonderful experience. And I would encourage anyone who's interested in serving their church in any way to do so. I certainly have enjoyed my time, and I thoroughly enjoyed being a greeter, John Garrett. It gave me a chance to meet many members of the congregation that normally I would not have met. So thank you for your time too. And I get to introduce Geneva Miller.
Well, hi, I'm Geneva Miller. I've been on the board a couple of years, and have thoroughly enjoyed it. I've met so many wonderful people, and totally impressed with the hard work and dedication and compassion and love that everyone shows here. And so I'm going to pass it on to one of those very hardworking people, Alice Sparks.
Hi, I'm Alice Sparks, and I've been with the board for a year now, and I am so honored and grateful to be a part of this beautiful team. And as it's been said over and over, the compassion, love, and devotion to the community is so impressive, and I just can't say enough for the beautiful, beautiful spirits that we have. Thank you so much. Now we'll have Inga. I don't know.
Not quite
Yet.
Not quite yet. Thank you all so much for your service to Unity. So I just want to take a minute to thank the board members who will not be returning. Alice Birch, as she just mentioned, thank you so much for your joyful and helpful spirit and always being there to help, to take minutes when we needed you and to keep track of any little thing that we missed. You are just so good and kind, and we really appreciate that. We love you and we will miss you, and I hope you circle around again at some point. And the other person who moved to Maryland, in fact, was Heather Beckenridge. And Vicki is going to try to put up a picture of Heather. Good. While I read the message that Heather sent to the board and to all of you. Thank you, Serenade, for giving me the opportunity to send this message to everyone. I would first like to thank John for gently nudging me to join the board 4 years ago. It gave me the opportunity to interact with such kind, thoughtful, and caring individuals who truly love this community and one another, while allowing me to witness Unity's principles of love and service in action. I'm happy that I could have been part of a greater cause, and I thank you and each of you for keeping Unity of the Valley chugging along so the core spiritual message of hope, love, and peace will shine on. Thank you, dear Heather. We love you and we will miss you. All right, getting back to our board minutes, our board business, we are going to have the approval of the minutes from last year, 2021's meeting. And I hope you've all had a chance to review them. And I'm wondering if there's any questions or comments that the congregation has about those minutes. And Vicki's monitoring that for us right now. If we don't have any comments, I would like to ask one of our board members for a motion to approve the minutes.
Alice Birch, and I would like to approve the board minutes for the annual meeting of last year.
Thank you. And do we have a second? Thank you, Alice. All in favor of approving those minutes, please raise your hand. All right, the minutes are approved from last year's meeting. Thank you all. Now we're going to talk a little bit about the amendment we had for the Unity of the Valley bylaws. And thank you to all of those who took the time to read and consider these 2 additions to our bylaws, which were sent out in the email. We appreciate those who have responded with your votes. And as of today, these amendments have been passed unanimously. However, if there's anyone in the congregation who's not had an opportunity to vote, again, please feel free to write yes or no with the word bylaws in the comments section on your Facebook page. And this will give your official written approval. And if anyone has any questions about these minutes or bylaws or any of these things, please feel free to contact John West or myself. So regarding the approval of the 2022 Board of Trustee candidates. We had 3 members this year of the board who reapplied for another term. They are Michael Tickner, Alice Sparks, and Serenay Smith. Again, thank you to all the Unity members who returned their voting cards to the office. All of these candidates have been unanimously reelected. And thank you to Michael Tickner and Alice Sparks for your beautiful service to Unity. Last year, Barbara McKee and Justice Gross were selected from the congregation to serve on our nominating committee for board elections. But because we didn't have any new persons to interview, they didn't have much work to do. But we would like to invite them back to serve again next year as we begin recruiting new potential trustees. And I would like to make a motion that Barbara McKee and Justice Gross will be the representatives from the congregation to serve on the nominating committee next year. Do we have a second?
I second it.
Great, thank you, Geneva. So again, this requires the approval of our congregation. So please indicate your approval in the comments section on your Facebook page. You can write yes for Barbara and Justice or yes for BJ, and we'll all know what you mean. So thank you for that. So now we're finished with the business for our annual meeting. We're going to move on to the wonderful reports prepared by the leaders of our Unity ministry. I want to encourage you all at some point to read the beautiful reports that were put together in this annual booklet. Gina has sent them out to everyone. And at some point, feel free to pick up your own hard copy. I took the time to sit quietly and read these the other day. And I was so impressed with the tremendous dedication and love within this spiritual community. Once again, it's a shining light on a hill. So thank you all, and thank you especially to John and Gina for all the work that it took to prepare this booklet. So I'm going to begin our reports today with the report from the Board of Trustees. Here at Unity, our resiliency prevailed in 2021 as it rolled in with high hopes and great expectations. Despite the ongoing threats of the COVID-19 pandemic, we continued to provide as many resources as possible through our weekly Zoom classes, along with our beautiful Sunday services. Sadly, Unity of the Valley remained closed to in-person gatherings for the first 7 months of 2021 due to the pandemic. During this time, the Board of Trustees, along with the ministerial team and the shared leadership team, spent much time and energy planning how we could carefully and safely reopen this beautiful facility after being closed since March 13th of 2020. These were difficult and challenging days for us all as we pored over CDC and Lane Health Authority data, searching daily for the right opportunity to safely open our doors and once again invite our congregation back home. Please know that through it all, we deeply felt and constantly took into great consideration the concerns of our congregation and the hardships our decision was causing many who were not able to attend the in-person services at Unity. We constantly kept reassessing the facts regarding the dangers of COVID-19 and how it was affecting our local healthcare services here in Lane County, as well as how quickly it was spreading through our community here in Eugene. One of the questions we continually asked ourselves was, how would we feel if just one member of our congregation became critically ill? How would we do the contact tracing among our congregants? And how would we be able to support or help anyone in our spiritual community who came down with the virus? These are the questions that kept me up at night, and these were the issues discussed at each and every one of our Board of Trustee meetings. There were no easy answers, and we were always weighing the benefits of the greater good against those who would temporarily lose the companionship and fellowship with their friends at Unity. I want to assure you that throughout this back and forth struggle of closing and reopening Unity, all of the difficult decisions we grappled with were made out of our loving consideration for each and every one of you. After much discussion and thought, we came up with the following Unity COVID policy. With deep respect for all viewpoints in our community, Unity of the Valley will reopen for in-person services, Sunday services on July 25th. Initially, for those who have verified that they are fully vaccinated, families with children too young to be vaccinated may attend services on a reservation basis. And this opening will be reviewed on a regular basis, which we did and continue to do. So then, after extensive inside and outside cleaning of the facility, a joyful remodel of the foyer, and all of the technical equipment, calling back our faithful flock of volunteers, and so much more, we finally flung open the doors on July 25th, and with grateful hearts, welcomed back our beloved congregation. What a joyous day that was. Thank you all for your cooperation with this process and your loving patience. Unfortunately, in January, due to the surge of the Omicron variant, we once again had to temporarily suspend in-person Sunday services in the interest of community safety. But the good news is that we are currently working diligently on the details of reopening very soon. Let me hear a cheer. Yay, yay. We are watching the data closely, as clearly the trends are changing and the rate of infection is declining. We will update you on the exact timing of our reopening very shortly. To that end, the Board of Trustees has updated our COVID-19 policy, which will require all persons attending in-person gatherings to be fully vaccinated. So that means that we will be requiring all attendees returning to in-person services when we reopen soon to have received their booster shots. We ask that you send in this additional proof of vaccination to Gina as soon as possible to minimize the document check-in process on that glorious Sunday morning when we reopen. And again, thank you all for your kind patience and cooperation. This report would not be complete without expressing my heartfelt gratitude to each and every one of you. The Board of Trustees would like to thank the many who keep our ministry alive and thriving. They include the ministerial team for their continued loving support and guidance. To each of the trustees on the Unity Board for showing up with your compassionate hearts to take on the difficult challenges and issues that Unity has had to face these last couple of years. The shared leadership team for checking in weekly with their warm hearts and bright spirits to deal with all manner of issues, great and small. Our administrator, Gina Duell, who keeps everything and everyone on track with her loving and careful efficiency. The wonderful volunteers and staff who are too numerous to name them all, who work quietly and lovingly to make Unity a center of peace and beauty. And finally, to each and every one of you who are connected in heart and mind to Unity of the Valley. You are all part of this beautiful mandala that encompasses our spiritual community and makes us who we are. We thank you and we love you. John?
Oh, I'm still feeling those thoughts, those feelings that you shared with us, Serenade. Thank you so much. Well, the ministerial report that we prepared, I'll just summarize the basic theme of it. It's really about how what makes this ministry what it is the collective ministry. It's the light that shines in each person in this community in their own unique ways. And the three themes as we look at this collective ministry that were chosen for our report, which again, you can find the written version, which we've emailed out, and you can contact the office if you'd like one sent to you, emailed to you. The three themes that came up are dedication, patience, and love. We could have chosen many, but those are three that really encapsulate the incredible dynamic expression of ministry that we see from so many corners. When you see our Sunday morning service, it's just the tip of the wonderful, loving, powerful community that's out there. And so I really, while you can see the way we detailed dedication, patience, and love in our report, I want to ask each person who is here, that includes the faces I see on my screen, the board members, and all of you who are joining us and who will eventually see this video, to just go within and notice and acknowledge how you have expressed your dedication, your patience, and your love in this community, because it works wonders. I noticed in Sherry's presentation today, her beautiful message, that she spent a little while focusing on patience, because loving our neighbor in this world requires this ability to just be accepting, to be able to wait. We may not get what we want immediately. And so with all the difficulties that we faced, knowing that we were depriving people of being able to come to Unity on Sundays when we made those difficult decisions, we knew that there was going to be people who were hurting inside, and we talked to some of those people, but overall what we have been carried by is the dedication, patience, and love that people have continued to share, to express in so many ways. You know, as you read the report, you'll notice that we just sprinkle in a few names when we start to think about all the people that are involved. You know, I think of Earl Strumpel out there volunteering to keep our website updated, and Brian, who has been so dedicated to our Facebook page, and I think of Chuck Herrera on the facilities team. And as soon as I started listing those along with all the other ones that came to mind for us, we just realized we can't say everybody. There's just so many of you. This community is filled with giving, serving, loving people. So again, I want you to, if you can, take some time just to sit with that awareness of how you've expressed dedication, patience, and love over the last year. And as you do that, we can set aside ego and just know it is the divine light, it is the divine love expressing through us. And we are all so blessed to be a part of that here in this Unity community. And I thank each and every one of you for your unique expression of those incredible powers that you have and you've shared with us all. Now I'd like to allow the rest of the ministerial team to speak up, beginning with Reverend Inga.
As soon as I unmute.
Yeah.
The ministerial team, it's been such a blessing to continue. Even though I'm officially retired, I am feeling very much a part of the team and of the spiritual community. It is my spiritual home. And that's one of the reasons that keeps me in Eugene. I can't imagine moving away since I'm single now, and this is my other family besides my family of origin. So being on the ministerial team is such a blessing. And being able to participate in the services on Sunday morning, I am richly rewarded with all the love and inspiration and uplifting feelings that I walk away with. It truly nourishes me. So enough said on my part, and I'll pass it on to Sherry Lady.
Thank you, Inga. I second everything that Inga is saying. I think we have created something that could be a model in much of the world, and that's shared leadership as ministries, as you know, there's supposedly the ministers, and then there's a shared leadership team, and then there's the board and all that. But we all work together as such a team, and having two other ministers to interact with on some of the decisions and work with is just phenomenal. I've been passing this model on idea to other people who are amazed that we are able to even function with three people having to, work together this way, because there's always a hierarchy thing. But anyway, I am so grateful for this ministerial team. We love each other. We laugh a lot. We are very clear and forthcoming with how we feel about things, and it's a safe way to be a part of this fabulous congregation I've been a part of since 1985. It is the reason too that I stay in Eugene, and with some other things too. But thank you all to everyone for the role that you play in my life and in the church and in the world. Yes. That's it for now. Thank you.
Vicki? Vicki?
Yeah, let me get everything set here. Hi, everyone, once more. I'm here to give the treasurer's report. And 2021 was another year of challenges and blessings. The blessings far outweighed the challenges. Thank you all for continuing to support our spiritual community financially and in many other ways. For a specific and complete financial breakdown, please read the written report sent out by Gina. Today, I'll give you a summary. In 2021, our total income was $181,000. The federal government also forgave the 2 payroll protection program loans we received, adding another $45,000 to that income. We want to give special recognition to John West for wading through all the government red tape, which allowed us to both receive these loans and have them converted to income grants. Our total expenses in 2021 equaled $172,000, leaving us with a total net income of $54,000. Our regular everyday checking account started the year with $75,000 and we ended with $90,000. And included in this balance is the $45,000 payroll protection grant. Our other bank account year-end balances are as follows. Our money market account, which is our rainy day fund, was close to $121,000 plus another $1,200 in our Legacy of Love savings. Our capital reserve account, which is our major or unusual expenditures, was $25,000. $23,000 of that is for church expenses and $2,000 to help us purchase our piano. The bookstore ended the year with $6,600, and youth and family ended the year with $3,400. Because of your support, we were able to continue our tradition of giving year-end bonuses and gifts to employees, contract musicians, and others who helped us through the year. We were also able to contribute financially to our Regional Association of Unity Churches and to Unity Worldwide headquarters. We are well into the second year of our 5-year loan to purchase our beautiful grand piano. We have received a total of just over $11,000 in donations specified for the piano and have made total payments of $500 a month, totaling $9,000, leaving a balance of $2,000 in our piano fund with $15,000 owed. Additionally, this year, we received our first distribution of $3,000 from the Anonymous Music Fund endowment established through Oregon Community Foundation for any music needs. Our Spiritual Community Support Fund has continued to help those in need during the pandemic. Over the past 2 years, we've received over $7,000 in donations and have been able to help those with requests in the amount of $7,000. At the end of 2021, we had a balance of $320 available for future requests. Donations have slowed. Please consider designating this fund as a part of your contributions, as there are still people in need within our spiritual community. For capital expenses, please refer to the written report for details. Gary Wymore will share some specifics in his facilities report. Our Simple Giving automatic monthly donations remained close to $9,000 a month, with people adjusting their donations as needed. Thank you to all who have joined this program. Our budgeted needs are still around $13,000 a month. If you aren't a Simple Giving member, please consider joining. No matter the size of your contribution, it makes a big difference in planning our monthly income come budgeting time. Contact our administrator, Gina, for more information. We also want to honor Tim Harrow with a special mention. He bequeathed a sizable donation to Unity of the Valley when he passed away recently, setting a great example for the rest of us. And finally, a big thank you to all our congregants and friends from afar who continue to support our community. We appreciate you all and look forward to a rewarding and prosperous year ahead. Now, Reverend Inga will share the prayer ministry report.
So I invite you to read the report, which lists all the many ways that you can plug into the prayer ministry. We're here for you. It is our privilege to serve in that way. There are a number of different ways, so I hope you will avail yourself to those. I look forward to the day when we can open the church again, not just for Sunday services, but the whole facility for classes, so we can offer classes again in prayer and other topics at the church, not just via Zoom. Some people just really much prefer in person. So it will be a great opportunity to reconnect when that time comes. And from there, it goes to chaplaincy. So it's a great thing that we can do in service to one another. Remember that the unity movement is based on prayer and meditation. Both Charles and Myrtle Fillmore absolutely discovered the power of prayer. So I hope to hear from you with your prayer requests. And if there's any way that you feel the need to join a grief group, it starts again on Wednesday, the 2nd, in just a few days, which also happens to be Ash Wednesday. There are no coincidences. It just seems like the perfect timing to do that. So that's it for me. And let's see, I believe Alice Sparks follows me with a report on youth and family ministry.
Hello again, everyone. I'm honored to report about the Uniteens. Doris Hicks and I were able to reopen the Uniteens youth program, which is middle school, 6th grade through 8th grade, last fall. And as it is more difficult during these times without being seen in person, we still have had the opportunity to have a couple of our youth dedicated to being online every week. We have in the past been following the themes and messages of the church services and correlating those to our classroom activities. It's an example of that would be the burning bowl ceremony and whitestone ceremony. What we did was a Doris Hicks creation, which she has many, doing a papier mache activity where the kids and Doris and myself wrote down on pieces of brown paper and newspaper the things that we wanted to release for the past year and the things that we wanted to bring into the new year. We then mixed up flour and water and made paper mache and then formed them into nice hearts or triangles, stars, circles, squares, and so forth. The following week after they dried, then we painted them, and we had glitter paints and just made beautiful, beautiful structures for us to look at and remind us of the ceremony that we did. Also, the end of January, Doris and I were able to attend the Northwest Region Uniteen and YOU conference, which was just an inspiration. It seems like the other ministry programs in the region are having difficulties too because of the pandemic. And so we're doing an entire transformation of the program where we have the youth taking a leadership role and what activities they would like to do, how they would like to sponsor those activities, and also doing projects for the community, for the congregation, planting trees, flowers, and doing field trips, dances, so all kinds of social events And so this is what we're looking forward to when we come back and meeting in person. And we'll be having a planning meeting for everybody to give their input of what they would like to do. So we are really inspired by this. And we also are inviting any of the young adults who have graduated from high school to become volunteers and mentors for the Uniteens and even younger when we get the other kids going. So this is something that we're looking forward to. Doris happens to be a puppeteer and has many puppets, and we have the ability to make more puppets. So we are going to be checking with the kids to see if they would like to host puppet shows in the community during the summertime when kids are going to the parks to have lunch, because they have had lunch through school throughout the year, so they continued that in the summertime. And so we are looking forward to being able to introduce that into our program as well as, and theater. We have done a little bit of theater and it's so inspiring. We are devoted to the message of unity, the principles, and the divine love and honor to work together and love one another. Thank you so much.
Gina?
Hi, everyone. I'm your administrator. I was looking back over paperwork and I can't believe it, but on the 8th of March, I will have been your administrator for 14 years. And I honestly don't know where the time has gone. It's gone so fast. And I've grown so much with all of you. And I so deeply love this congregation. I was asked to do the shared leadership report. And I know on many of the Zoom meetings that I have throughout the week, I am always asked, what is the shared leadership team? So I'm going to read what I put into the report. Our shared leadership team is made up of representatives from the ministerial team, your board of trustees, your staff, volunteers. We meet weekly on Zoom right now to discuss, hold the vision, and deal with the day-to-day needs of our spiritual center and our congregants. We open every meeting with prayer or meditation, and then we do a personal check-in. And for me, that's a really key part of shared leadership, is taking the time to connect deeply from the heart with each other, to find out what is moving through you, what is going on. Like, I have to admit, I was very touched by today's service, the music, the message, the meditation. We're in tough times. And we think that, we're getting towards the end of COVID and then the world goes bonkers again. And our team comes up with these beautiful services and are able to present it from the heart. And so I thought, wow, how am I going to do this report without crying through it? Because I was so touched. And that's part of what shared leadership does, is it allows us to connect from the heart, to see the humanness of each other, find out what is really moving through you, so that once you're heard, we can then start to do the work that needs to be done with our spiritual center. And we do that based from spirit, wisdom, and action. And that's the beauty of shared leadership. And I agree with what the others said here. Wow, this is a great model for our politicians and the worldwide to learn how to connect and work together so that all voices are heard. And I can tell you, we don't always agree on everything, but once you feel heard, we are able to move forward in what is the best for the whole. And that's a beautiful thing. One of the beauties of Unity of the Valley. Quickly, obviously we were not able to be open last year like we wanted to because of COVID. And that meant this was our second year of missing out on having our annual Thanksgiving potluck. And we have some of our leaders who stepped up and said, we're going to do another food for people. And we were able to put together 40 meals for people to either deliver or come and pick up. And it fills our heart as your leadership to be able to do this. It wasn't the same as gathering together, but boy, it sure touched the heart, and we hope filled some good bellies. It takes a village. I say that a lot in our shared leadership. It really does. And our volunteers, it's been a difficult year for you as well. We know we've asked you to step up in ways that you haven't had to before and work in an environment that is a little uncomfortable at times because do we wear masks? Do we not wear masks? Blah, blah, blah. At any rate, I thank every one of you for doing that. And I hope that you continue to step up in the way that you do. Thank you for the beautiful notes that you send with your donations. It is much appreciated. It fills my heart on a very, very deep level. And I get the opportunity to introduce our facilities coordinator, Gary, and his beautiful partner, Sunny, who is next to him, would be the person who would normally give the shared leadership report, but they said I could do it and kind of combined my administrator's report with it. So without further ado, Mr. Gary, thank you all.
Am I here? There I am. Good afternoon. I've been coming to Unity since, I think it was 1989. And during most of that time, I've been intimately connected to the facilities. It's just something I was drawn to. And our team are the caretakers of our physical home, of our spiritual community. The maintenance of the building is an ongoing important task accomplished by a small dedicated team. The pandemic really threw a wrench into a lot of volunteerism. I haven't been around the church much during this whole time. And so all that fell on John. I know he spent a lot of time in the month under the sanctuary or on the roof, cleaning out the gutters and doing a lot of important decisions. And I really applaud his dedication and his just taking on the task. We look forward to the day we can gather again for our regular Sunday services. Amen. So here are some of the highlights we accomplished this past year and plans for the near future. Now, I'm not going to give dollars amount. That's in the complete report that was expertly written by John West. So please read it for the details, a lot more than I'm going to give you. One, we replaced the stage lights with energy efficient LED lights because the old lights kept burning out. You could hardly keep them going. And that's a really good addition. As some of you know, we have constant runoff under the sanctuary, especially during the rainy season. So we are going to replace our 2 sump pumps, which kept burning out, with larger ones that will handle the runoff better. Right now, they're stuck in the supply shortage chain. This summer, we plan the parking lot to be resealed as a follow-up to the resurfacing we did a couple years ago. We have a little bit of a leaky roof over the fellowship hall, and we may deal with that when the weather gets drier. Our rain gutters clog each year with pine needles, and so we are researching rain gutter guards to prevent the clogging. I'm going to change pages here. Yes, we plan to install permanent set of video cameras to record services and events. At present, we are using the equipment of our generous sound and tech man, Ryan Zimmer. Like I said, there's lots of other nitty-gritty items you can catch up on the written report. And if any of you have skills or just a desire to help on occasion, please let us know when we'd love to add you to our team. Now, for our next report, I get to introduce our wonderful, brilliant music director, Laura Dubois.
Thank you. Wow, that was beautiful. And oh, I've so enjoyed listening to all these heartwarming reports. Mine is going to be very short. I recommend that you please read the written report, but I have 3 little quick highlights. The first one is the pandemic has had a strange effect. In some ways, it has strengthened our music team beyond my wildest dreams. And I feel that we've grown closer and gotten stronger. But I fully realize there are many of you on our music team, especially our choir, that have not been able to participate. And I just want to reiterate that we love you and we miss you. And we look forward to having each and every one of you back on that platform with us someday in the relative, not too far off future. The second thing is, when I was writing my report, I just had to pinch myself. I can't believe how incredibly fortunate and blessed we are with donations. The piano fund donations, our endowment, and our sing-along angels that paid for so many of our events this year and generously funded those. Thank you to everyone who donates to Unity of the Valley, and especially, of course, I'm going to say thank you to those of you that support our music team so generously, including the board and all the basic salaries that are paid. We deeply appreciate that. Last but not least, and very exciting to me, is our cabaret. It was more than a year in the making. It was the biggest project we've ever undertaken, and it is out and it is stunning. I am so happy and proud. I'm so happy with and proud of this incredible video. And in my report, it talks about how to view it on Facebook, but we all, Ryan and the music team, think it's better on YouTube. All you have to do is go on the internet, go to YouTube, type in Unity of the Valley Cabaret, and boom, it'll be the first thing that shows up. And I think you're going to love it. We have 18 different acts on that video, and it is something I will treasure for the rest of my life. Thank you to everyone involved. Thank you to Ryan. And with that, I am going to pass it off to Julia to hear about our Angel Network.
Hello, everyone. So yes, I'm Julia Linebarger-Taylor, and I have the privilege of coordinating the Angel Network for our loving spiritual community. I started this position really not very long before the big dark cloud descended upon our world. And so I don't know what was normal before that. But I will say during the last 2 years, let's see. In December, for 2020, the Angel Network received 5 requests for assistance. And then in 2021, we received 29 requests for assistance. I'm so grateful to all the volunteers out there. We have a team who've signed up. There's about 27 of us. And our services have included meal delivery, furniture moving in and out, cleaning. If I forget anything, I apologize. But we had one big job that we did that I'm rather proud of. There were 4 angel volunteers, and we helped a member clean out an extremely loaded room of just about everything except the kitchen sink. And so we sifted, sorted, culled, hauled away, and there were various places that benefited. St. Vincent de Paul, the Materials Exchange Center for Community Arts, otherwise known as Mecca. The members who helped, we all got to score some pretty sweet little things. The church youth ministry received some craft items. Alice was all over that. So anyway, I would like to say that if anyone wants to volunteer for Angel Network, please reach out to me. And in the details of the reports, there's a report from me that has my contact information. And we don't get requests through the church system. And I would like to remind people that you can make requests through the church phone system. I think I've only received one in the 2 years. Most of the requests, which is fine as well, most of the requests come through email or through word of mouth. And the Angel Network, I like to think of us as basically a safety net. We're not a solution to people's problems, but I think we're a good safety net, and potentially, from us flow resources and ideas to solve problems. So I encourage people to reach out. If we can't help, at least we can lend a listening ear and give heart and love and prayer for your needs. And that's my report.
Thank you, Julia, and thank you to each one for your wonderful reports today. I think it just paints this beautiful picture of the Unity of the Valleys ministry, which is just so full of stars and hope and light and love. And then you can count on Alice Sparks to throw in a little glitter, and then we're even shining brighter. So thank you all so much. And now we're going to open this meeting to our beloved congregation. And I see Vicki up there. She's been monitoring the comments and questions, and she's going to be our moderator, who will then pass those questions on to different speakers. So please, this is your time to speak up. So we would love to hear from all of you, or many of you. So Vicki, what do we have?
Sure. If anyone has any questions that they haven't typed in, feel free to put them in the comments section on Facebook. The first thing I'd like to say is, Serenade, when you mentioned reopening soon, and also requiring boosters, we had tons of thumbs up flow by. So just so you know, everybody's in there waiting for that. The first question we had came from Brian Alexander. He wanted to know, why are we going beyond the CDC and OSHA requirements with boosters, especially with the loosening of requirements on the horizon? John or Serenade, you want to tackle that one?
Did I see your hand, John?
No, do you have an immediate comment you want to make on that?
I would just say that, to my understanding, the CDC is recommending booster shots after your second immunization. There's a 6-month window. And then they are requesting that you receive your booster shots because they feel that that will really boost your immunity. So that's the criteria that we look at. And I hope that answers your question. Booster shots are highly suggested, recommended after your second immunization within a 5 to 6 month window. And that's our best understanding. And that's what we're basing our decision-making process on. John?
If I could just add to that. I think you always have to put into context the different role that the CDC plays and what the Board of Unity of the Valley plays. The CDC is making recommendations, but they can't make requirements to the whole country. They can only do recommendations. So sometimes people look at what we do as a requirement. We say, well, the rest of the country isn't doing that. Well, nobody but the Board of Unity of the Valley can come in and require what we do here at Unity of the Valley. So it's the board's responsibility to decide what is in the best interest of this community. And every population is unique. If we had a group of mainly 20 somethings, that would be, we'd probably be making, if we were mainly Generation Z, we might be making somewhat different decisions. But I really appreciate your question, Brian, and anybody who disagrees with the board or the decisions that were made. We always want to hear people's insight, because there's going to be more decisions down the road. And one thing Sarah and I talked about recently is it would be great to hear the feedback from the congregation on your points of view on anything. For example, would you like us to continue the requirement of wearing masks, at least for a time being? If you're going to be in our space, we'd like to hear from you about that, because that's a difficult decision. The CDC is not going to has never required nationwide masks, and they are not going to probably even recommend for the whole country. But our job is to look at this specific community and our specific environment, and pose that question. What do you feel is in our best interest as a community? So we'd love to hear from you about that.
Thanks, John and Serenay. I don't see any new comments so far regarding what you two just talked about. So I'll go back and read some of the comments that we've had throughout the meeting. Nola Woodbury said, "How blessed we are with such wonderful spiritual leaders. Thank you." Emma Niedermeyer, "We love you too, Gina," after Gina's talk. Sharon Fouts Bratton, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. "Thank you all for your wonderful service to our spiritual community. I'm so glad to see all of you and to hear about the business side of our beloved church. Your commitment to keep our church running smoothly is greatly appreciated. I voted previously in favor of the bylaw changes. Thank you for that as well." Let's see. The next person to give a talk was Gary Wymore, and Gary, you received tons and tons of hearts after you spoke, so I thought you'd like to know that. Then we had Allison Cantrill. "Thank you all for your hard work, dedication to our spiritual community, and most of all, for the deep love you express through your words and actions. I look forward to seeing you soon." Amy Raven, "Yay, Laura. Thank you so much for the wonderful music you and your team bring to Unity." Betsy Priddle, "Hurrah for everybody in every leadership position and all those behind the scenes who keep us going. I appreciate you all." Emma again had a comment saying yes to masks and boosters. Sharon Fouts oh, now I'm getting tons of hearts to that. Sharon Fouts Bratton said, "Yes to being vaxxed and masked. I feel too vulnerable for it to be otherwise." Diane Bohr, "Yes to vaccination and masks." Brian Alexander said, "I've been waiting for a booster that has been tailored by the vaccine makers to the current variants. I'm obviously not anti-science. I got my vaccine as soon as I could in honor of Mary Kay." And that's it. So anyone on the board or anyone on our screen want to make any comments?
Well, I just want to thank everybody who has sent in questions, and all of you who are just being with us. It's just an expression of this connection that we share that is invisible sometimes, so we can't see you all, but we feel your presence and we're so grateful.
Yeah, I just want to second that. Thank you all for taking this time with us this afternoon and being with us for this annual meeting. And I so look forward to next year when I am just praying and hoping that the river doesn't rise and the floods don't come, and that we will be together in our fellowship hall and hugging and sharing our wonderful talks and reports and seeing each other face to face. So let's all hold that thought and that intention. And also, if you haven't sent in questions and you think of something in the next few days or anytime, please feel free to contact us at any time with your questions. Things pop up in emails all the time, and we're very happy to respond. We appreciate you all. So if there isn't any more comments, John?
Well, I'm sure some people are out there wondering, when are we going to reopen? And frankly, we've had so much preparation that we needed to do for this annual meeting that we weren't able to totally dig into exactly when we're going to do that. But I believe that we really want to open as soon as possible. And so that's the next question. We're going to be talking about it as a shared leadership team this coming week, and the board, that's the top thing on their agenda. So hang in there, keep that patience going. One of the reasons why it's difficult to just snap our fingers and reopen is because it takes volunteers of all stripes. And it's not just that those people, we have volunteers who haven't been here for a while, but we have to find out and hear from our volunteers, are you ready to come back? Are you ready to be with us? And they in turn want to know, well, what is your policy? What are you requiring? As we heard from some people, they may not want to come back unless we are having masks and boosters and all those kinds of things. So that's some of the difficulties and challenges of juggling the questions and bringing our community back together. If we could just snap our fingers and restart the services, that would be one thing. But I guess I would just put out there, if you are one of our people who have volunteered in any way, please contact your leader, your team leader, and let them know if you're, how soon you would be ready to come back and under what conditions. I think that might be helpful for us to know.
Yeah, I love that. Vicki?
We've had a couple of more comments. Steve Smothers and Julianne said, great job, everyone. Amy Raven wrote, I'm also a member of the Unitarian Universalist congregation. They have just opened with masking, distancing, vaccinations, and asking that congregants hum along to songs rather than singing. Might be a good idea, re-singing. Bonnie Chappa said, thank you all board members and ministers for your fine service to unity, community, and Shadra. Sorry.
Shadra.
Pardon?
Shadra
Lewis said, thanks everyone. And that's it. No more hearts, no more thumbs up.
Oh, thank you, Vicki, and thank you all. And you just need to know we're going to hit the ground running next week with all of this reopening business, and we will have something for you very soon. And it's going to be a joyous day. So thank you all so much for joining us, all of our board members, ministerial team, wonderful shared leadership, music, everyone, all of our volunteers and our beautiful congregation. You really are the heart of this ministry. And we're going to close our meeting with our dear Reverend Sherry Lady giving us a prayer.
Somebody needs to give
Gary,
Shirley
you're
a phone
muted.
call. There you go.
All right. Now, take a little sigh, a good sigh, a happy sigh, like, oh, this feels so good. We have been so blessed by a Holy Spirit that saw that when our four walls were not being filled, continued to surround all of us with love and to keep this community intact in heart and soul and mind. We are so blessed that we have been able to be together in spirit through technology, through whatever means. We are still Unity of the Valley, and we're so proud of it, and we're happy for it, delighting in it and growing with it and through it. We give thanks for this joyous, wonderful opportunity to be together, individually celebrating, collectively celebrating and honoring the life of spirit in all of us. And it's with joy that we look forward to the reopening. Sweet Spirit, thank you for giving us that internal light that always shows through, and in filling us with the hope and the desire and the knowing that all is in divine order. Continue to bring us peace, and continue each one of us to be that keeper of the flame, that lover of the world, and that faith-filled beingness that makes up who we are as a spiritual community. Thank you for this day and time of sharing. We again say, we are blessed. We know that all will be well. And so it is. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Amen to that. Thank you all so much. Have a lovely afternoon.
Bye.